I was at this bookstore called Second and Charles, and I'm like, they had this manga, they had all these manga, right? And I'm looking at it, and they were like, "Hey, sale, so on and so forth." And so I'm looking at it, I'm like, "Oh, okay, they have number ones of manga," and I'm like, "Do I want to start a collection? Do I want to buy so on and so forth?" And I'm like, "Well, number ones at the very least, I get that it can be reprinted, but like you always want to kind of get a number one of stuff."
I mean, I probably should take better care of it, but I got that number one of Naruto just sitting there in the
Yeah,
basement.
see, like they didn't have any copies of the number one of Bleach. I think this was the last copy of the number one for Seven Deadly Sins that they had, and they had like a few more One Punch Men. And I was like, you know what? I have loved anime and manga for so long, um, and I was like, these could go any day. So I was like, I might as well just. I went and I was at Barnes and Nobles a week ago because I picked up the new Avatar stuff, and I didn't see number ones for majority of these. So I'm like, okay, let me just pick them up, waste some money, and put them on the shelf. Oh, and the first one that actually started it, and then we can hop on.
I need to see this. I guess this man got a One Piece. This man
Hell no.
got a One Piece book one.
Hell no.
The start of was it called Romance Dawn?
Boy, I ain't buying no. So I can never finish the collection if I choose. All right, and you're on volume one. How many more I got to do?
70
Not
plus.
Yeah, 900. Huh? Well, yeah, Oda's gonna go another 10 years, and
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of.
a fan's perspective.
Welcome back, guys. We've been doing plenty of video game coverage this summer. We've been talking about everything from the PlayStation 5 to The Last of Us to fighting games, and we're gonna get back to gaming eventually because both Shelby and I are now playing Ghost of Tsushima. He's much further than
Oh
me,
my gosh.
but
Woo!
but
Boy, when I
both.
tell you fire, and CJ is not as far as I am. CJ, you're currently in Act 1.
Yes, I
I
am.
just made it to Act 3 of Ghost of Tsushima, and I am loving it. I'm playing it very patiently, and I enjoy that the game allows me to play it patiently. It has been a blast of a story. There have been several moments in this game that have made me go, they're tugging on my heartstrings, and I don't like it, but I do like it.
Okay, I've got some stuff to look forward to. Then that makes me happy.
Yeah.
I told myself it would be my last new game purchase until the PS5 drops, and even when the PS5 drops, hopefully, I understand that Cyberpunk 2077 is coming out, but I'll just get that.
We're not excited for it.
We're not, but I'm trying to be, and I'll probably if I do end up
Well,
getting it, I'll get it for the PS5. I won't get
yeah, I
it
don't
for the PS4.
I don't mean we're not excited for it as in it looks bad. It's just not our a game that we're excited about. Like it looks like it's going to be a good game, but besides Keanu Reeves, it doesn't really have anything attracting me to it. Like so I have to wait and kind of see. Whereas to Ghost was actually pretty similar, and this has been a very nice surprise.
Yeah, well, Ghost, I feel like they kept the marketing pretty under wraps for a while,
Yeah, they did.
but surprisingly, unless it's from critics or just word of mouth, I'm sure it's made plenty of money. Like I feel like everybody and their mother's playing it right now.
Yeah.
For those who aren't playing Call of Duty Season 5, for Modern Warfare.
Yeah, it's definitely it's one of the best games I've played in a while. I'll put it like that. And we'll be bringing you that review sometime soon.
Hopefully, maybe it'll be a 2-week boy whenever I actually beat it. But
It's not.
Yeah.
Market in your calendar, guy. You know how we roll. It'll be here in a couple of months, maybe.
Months, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of missed episodes, sorry that this one's coming out later than the last ones have been, guys. I know we missed last week, but things happen. We have lives, and we'll try to make sure we stay consistent going forward. But
If you're listening, thanks for listening. I know the people that do listen are behind on the episodes, and you listen to them and you catch up, which is completely fine.
yeah, that's true too.
So you probably won't notice, but thank you for listening and supporting us. We appreciate it. So CJ, today we are going to be discussing the Legend.
The Legend of the Hidden Temple?
No, not the Legend of the Hidden, a different Legend. Today we're going to be discussing a topic that we've touched on minorly before. We're going to give it an overview because Netflix will be dropping this series on, what day?
August 14th.
August 14th. You guys are going to get access to the Legend of Korra, that is. And we're going to be just kind of discussing it today and giving you a little overview of what to expect and how we feel about it.
Yeah. So, Shell, let's kind of get into it. Again, this is one of those situations where I was the first one to watch Korra out of the two of us. If I remember correctly, you binged all of Korra, right? Like you weren't keeping up with it as it aired. So,
no.
Yeah. So you didn't go through what we watching TV fans had to go through.
Nope, not on this journey.
So, what caused you? Because you saw Avatar before Korra had even released. So
Yep.
what caused you to not jump on the bandwagon initially?
I didn't know about it. I don't think I had access to Nickelodeon at the time. I knew because you had told me that there was a new Avatar series coming out, and I was just like, "Oh, okay, cool." Didn't have a way to watch it because I was in college at the time, and after it was fully released, I kind of just forgot about it, and somehow, some way, it came up in conversation, and I was like, "Well, yeah, I did really enjoy Avatar." I was like, "I need to check out the sequel series because I never watched it, and I hadn't really heard much about it." So yeah, I bought it, purchased it on Blu-ray, and like you said, I binged it.
Yeah, and what would you say were your initial feelings on the series when you finished it? Since you binged the whole thing, there's no real reason to talk about each season because you didn't have the wait that we had to go through.
I mean, yeah, we'll discuss that later in our podcast. But overall, I enjoy Korra. I think it is a good series. I don't believe personally that it is as good as the original Avatar. You can tell that there were some production issues. There were some higher up issues that go into it. You can see these things due to it being a sequel series and people now having so much, understanding that Avatar is a brand and we can use it to make money. And it goes back to something we've discussed before, what I call the old white guy. There was an old white guy at Nickelodeon that realized that Avatar made money, and they wanted to make more money, and so
let's actually get into the old executive theory,
yeah,
because this is all
old money.
This is all really speculation.
But you can tell.
I haven't done
they call it studio interference.
I haven't done enough research, in my opinion, and I will do more as we talk about each season, so I can really dive into it, and maybe my ignorance will be shown once we start talking about it after I've looked things up. But the first season of Korra was supposed to be the only season of Korra.
Yep.
People that know that were hyped for this remember when the first trailer or first images came out of Comic-Con, because they came out of Comic-Con when we were still in high school, because Korra dropped my freshman year of college, and people were just waiting. I remember seeing on Facebook the first shot of Korra looking over Republic City, just with her back turned. You didn't even see what she looked like. And yeah, for those who maybe don't have the access to the YouTube right now, which we will hopefully get going at some point.
You can just Google it, Legend of Korra images. I'm sure it'll show up.
Yeah, it's on the back of the Blu-ray. It's an image of her looking over Republic City right when she's about to arrive, and the announcement was, "A new Avatar is born," or something along those lines. And they told us that we were getting a sequel series to The Last Airbender, and the fandom was hype. The fandom was hype. It went crazy because I just remember just off of my high school alone, and that this is before like fandoms really had spaces on Facebook to dive into things. Like everyone that watched Avatar in high school that I was friends with couldn't wait for the series to start, and we all had to be patient because it said 2012. Which we were like, oh, okay. And then we found out that it was only going to be a mini-series. And that's kind of what is the first thing with Korra that I'm always going to kind of wish they didn't do. They should have known well ahead of time that Korra would have made money. I don't know what made them think, oh, we only need to give people 12 episodes. It's not going to be that much of a ratings hit. People aren't going to tune in to watch this. It's fine. Acting like Avatar wasn't one of the biggest hits Nickelodeon's ever had, or one of the most impactful series Nickelodeon's ever had. But I digress. So we get to 2012. Everyone's hype. Everyone's enjoying themselves. And season 1 airs, comes and goes, and this is how you know that things were different than Avatar. People had takes. Like the fandom had serious. Like, wait a minute, why is this not just overall amazing? Why are there these plot points that don't fully make sense? Why aren't things as fleshed out as Avatar? And I realized then, like, oh, they weren't ready for this. They thought they were going to do a 12-episode series and call it a day.
So you're talking about the complete series, not just the first.
No, I'm talking about the first season. I'm talking about, like, after the first season, people were kind of annoyed with how things went. Only because, and we'll get into this more as we dive into the season breakdowns, that they just thought that things kind of happened relatively quickly and weren't as developed as they were in The Last Airbender.
Which is a fair point.
It's a fair point because in the first season, it's only 12 episodes and not 20. Which as we've discussed with Game of Thrones, fewer episodes means
less.
It means less and less character development. So
in general, it just means less.
So that's essentially what happened. And I just remember that after that first season aired, people loved the show. They tuned in. It was a ratings hit for Nickelodeon. It like blew out the ratings for ages 18 to 24. The college age graphic, the college age spending money graphic. They had more young adults tuning in to watch Legend of Korra than kids. Nickelodeon had more young adults than actual kids watching the show.
Which makes sense.
And that, like, the moment Korra ended, they renewed it. They were like, "Oh no, you guys are getting 4 full seasons. Do whatever you want. Just make money, make us money." And we thought things would be gravy. And then Nickelodeon later on made some decisions that no one understood.
Well, I think it comes down to one of the things, Game of Thrones, obviously, big talking point here. Similar to Game of Thrones, it comes down to expectation, right? So we have less time. Who knows how long the creators worked on the original Avatar series, planned it out, had the ideas, developed it, pitched it, developed it some more.
From what I understand, they were developing it in the 90s, and it didn't hit air until 2006.
Yeah, so it obviously had more time, more preparation. And then at the same time, they have to, as I was explaining to another colleague of mine, maybe he'll be on the show one day. Shout out to Denzel. things change when you're popular, right? So the studio now has a hand in this show. They're saying make us 3 more seasons. Okay, how much time do we have to do that? Obviously not a lot because we need it back on the air. Okay, sure. We'll try and do what it took us like roughly 10, 15 years before and maybe a couple. All right, sure, let's give it a shot. Now, I think we are personally undervaluing how good Korra is.
Oh
Um,
yeah, that's something that we probably should
it's
both should
still
admit. It's a great show.
Yeah, it's a great show. It just personally, and as you look on the internet, you'll see it does have some flaws. And let's address one of the first things. It is not at least from this podcast, it has nothing to do with Cora being a woman. That is not a factor in how I view the show or how I think of the show. Overall, I do like Cora as a character. I think, like I said, we're looking at this as an overview. I don't feel like Korra has a complete character arc. And I think that's one of the things that makes the show suffer. I do feel like she does learn and grow, but Korra, and I don't really want to spoil, this isn't really a spoiler. Korra goes on what's called a negative character arc, where as she's going on her journey, she kind of becomes worse, not like bad, like between like good and evil. She just becomes like in the beginning, she's super confident, she's super strong, she's super proud type of person. And throughout the show, she gets broken down. And at the end of the show, it's just like she kind of recovers some of that, and she never becomes who she was. And the show just kind of ends on that, to where the original Avatar, while Aang goes on this character arc, is about him growing up. At the end of the show, he is more mature. He is grown, and you know that Aang is going to become like a great Avatar. With Korra, though, because she goes on this negative character arc, and you can kind of like CJ was saying, you can kind of see that it was thrown into the mix very quickly. It doesn't ever feel like that arc is resolved. And so when the series ends, you're left with a feeling of uncertainty about Korra and how she's going to fulfill this role as Avatar, which there are comics that explain more after, which I'm going to dive into at some point. But what they were going to through, because they obviously wanted to hit different story beats. We got great villains
Great
instead of
villains.
yeah, instead of like all of this character development between our individual team Avatar, you get great villains, which was something which was that's like the one of the biggest critiques of the previous Avatar: The Last Airbender, is, well, Ozai wasn't really that good of a villain, even though Azula was an amazing villain. They're like, Ozai wasn't really that good. He was just like, I'm a strong guy, I'm the dictator. So they made a point to put some amazing villains in the Legend of Korra, which they are all memorable. They're all memorable. I know, I never forget Kovira, Among, and Ahir. Or
Zahir.
Zahir. Yeah, Zahir. Sorry, I messed up the name, but I can tell you what he did. I
Yeah,
know
and see that's the thing is that Korra is definitely defined by its villains,
Correct.
because everyone talks about the seasons, like they'll say book, like with Avatar: The Last Airbender, you're like, oh, book 1 water, book 2 earth, book 3 fire. I don't remember what some of the books are beyond, but I don't remember what book 3 and 4 are, because I remember book one of Korra, I believe, is air, and book 2 is spirits, but I don't remember what book 3 or 4 is.
Oh, they do have different names, don't they?
Yeah, but everyone remembers it mainly by the villains of the
By
season.
the villains, yeah,
But
because the villains were out.
season 1 is Amon, season 2 is Tarlok, season 3 is
I forgot about Tarlok.
season
It's
3 is
Zahir.
Zahir, and season 4 is Kovira. And now what is interesting is that I will say there is a villain power escalation, but I need to go
Not
back.
really.
No, there
I think it's a
there
nah.
is
Nah.
between for seasons 1 through 3 there are.
No.
I would say Tarlok and Vat. Well, I guess this is a bit of a spoiler, but Tarlok and Vatu are stronger than Amon is.
Yeah. There's a power de-escalation. Is what you mean.
What do you mean? I'm saying with every season, each villain is stronger than the last one.
No.
Up through season 3, that's the case.
No, I would say the dark Avatar in season two is stronger than Zahir was. Zahir was, and if we get into that, Zahir and then Kovira was not stronger than
What I was getting at
Zahir.
is that Kovira is not Zahir. I guess I was getting at that more
Yeah,
than anything
yeah,
else.
yeah, yeah. So
And
let me explain why I say it's a de-escalation. I think that what was his name? Tarlok
there's Tarlock.
was probably the strongest villain, and then it de-escalates, and then you go to Zahir, and then you go to Kovira. But they were all the reason they're great villains and they're memorable is because they all kind of accomplish different things in different ways. So you can't really compare them power wise, but they're all really good villains. And like you said, that defines a lot of the show. But because the show is kind of, I don't want to say rushed, but didn't have as much of plan or planning time as the original series, the main cast kind of suffers because of that.
Yeah, and I will definitely say the main cast suffers because we're gonna get introduced to Team Avatar 2, I guess we'll call
Yeah.
it, in the new series, which is Korra, Mako, Bolin, and Asami. And then you're gonna get more people added on to the team as it grows because it's not just the core four anymore, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
other people like fan favorite characters in this show are outside of Team Avatar, I
Yeah,
would say.
yeah.
You
Tenzin,
can't.
Tenzin,
Yeah. What is her name?
Su
Sue?
Sulin. Is it Sulin or is it Suyin?
I don't
Um,
know. We'll get back to you on
yeah,
that.
hold on.
But
It's an easy
I
look
think I'm
up.
pretty sure her name is Sue. Both are Toph's daughters.
Yeah, both of
Both.
Toph's daughters. And then even the crazy industrialist in season
Yeah.
two.
Yeah.
Like is it
I would
Barrick?
say very.
Yeah, Varric. Yep.
I would say out of new team Avatar, the most liked character is Bolin.
Yeah. Oh, no one. Yeah, everyone agrees it's
Yeah.
Bolin.
Yeah, Bolin was great. I love Bolin. But the rest of the team who you spend a lot of time with doesn't really get the
It
development of
it's
the
it
original team Avatar.
it's Lin. It's Lin. We were right. It's Lin.
Lin.
Lin Beifong. Yeah.
Yeah, Lin. Yeah, Lin went
Lin.
hard.
Lin is amazing. Lin's great.
Lin Tenzin. Like those are the people you come to love in this series.
Lin, Tenzin, Su Yin, like the adults you get introduced to,
The people.
it's the reversal. It's honestly the reversal of Avatar. The adults are
Well,
the best characters in this show,
you know
and
why that is?
why?
It's because they have history in connection to the previous Avatar, The Last Airbender.
That would make sense.
Because Mako and Bolin are really, and even Asami, poor Asami, they're kind of like random characters that get thrown together, which is what the original cast was, but we don't have as much time with them to really be like, oh, okay, like you get Mako and Bolin, they're brothers, but Mako was, like watered down Zuko.
We'll get into Mako. And again, guys, I feel like this is something we have to be
Well,
very careful with.
I'm going to at the end. I want to talk about the positive, more
Okay.
positive. of the
Okay,
show.
sure.
I'm
All
just,
right.
like I said again. We're just giving an overview of the show and how we felt about it. And this isn't like an in-depth review. But Legend, like right now, we could start talking about some great things. Like
Okay.
Legend of Korra is beautiful animation wise.
Oh,
It is
it's
far
it's
superior than its predecessor.
it's so much better. Like the animation
Um,
of Korra that obviously comes with the time frame because, like we said, Korra was in the past decade while Avatar was in the aughts,
No,
and
but even the creativity in Korra, in terms of the choreography of the fights, in terms of the world building, in terms of because things they definitely hit on as far as the way it looked and choreography is better. It does surpass Avatar for sure. And
yeah,
you can always say yeah, it happened later, but we've seen cases where things have gotten worse when they should look, like gold.
Seven
So,
Deadly Sins. Seven Deadly Sins. I will always.
let's take a moment of silence for the recently third season released for Seven Deadly Sins. It's on Netflix now.
Yeah, I know. I saw it yesterday, and it
Oh,
just made me sad.
what a silence. Okay. All right. God bless that show. Hopefully, it switches to another company.
Isn't it supposed to release? Well, no, COVID pushed it back, so we'll see. Maybe
Yeah.
with that,
So,
maybe with it not being rushed, they'll be able to redeem themselves because
so,
next season's supposed to be even more important. But anyway,
yeah. So, in terms of the way it visually looks amazing. Like I said, world building is good. I like what they do with Aang's son and I like how they expanded upon the world, how the nations came together and created Republic City, even though it's technically in the Earth Kingdom, but that's neither here nor there. The nations came together, they made Republic City, which is basically like America.
yeah,
Um, and as me and CJ have talked about before in the Avatar world, the Fire Nation is essentially Japan, Earth Kingdom's China. The Water Tribes are
they're natives more than Native American base more than anything else. So like,
I
but
thought it's Samoan.
no, I wouldn't say
Like like
Eskimo.
yeah, it's like a mixture of both. Not
Yeah,
Samoan, I'm sorry, but you get what I'm saying.
yeah,
It's like a mixture. They're kind of like a mixture of both in a to a degree.
yeah,
And so they create Republic City, which is America basically.
yeah.
And Aang, that's what you found out. Aang kind of did with the rest of his life. This isn't really a spoiler, but Aang dies incredibly young.
For an
Um,
avatar,
for for I mean most people. He dies at like 64 if I recall. He dies in his 60s.
which for Aang is 106, which is 170 something. But yeah,
Technically, yeah, but
and and
but
unlike with Avatar Roku, and I'm sure with other avatars in the past, it's not, as far as we know, it's a relatively normal death.
he
He
just had a
doesn't.
natural death.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he just
doesn't.
died.
He doesn't die from fighting to protect the world or fighting to keep balance in any capacity.
Yeah,
So
he just passed away, I guess, in his sleep. Which happens, and again, the things that Korra does, I respect highly. I respect a lot of things that they went for. As we again, I'm going to bring up Game of Thrones. Execution, and having time to execute are big things. So again, the characters in Korra, talking about characters, things that we really like. I really like the characters in Korra. I like Korra as a character. I think she's really cool, and she puts a lot of proof into the way our Avatar reincarnation cycle works. About how whatever, not regrets the previous Avatar had, but the new Avatar inherits those traits. For example, like Aang could be loud, he could be playful, but Korra is like super loud. She's like super confident. Um, because she is technically a prodigy, she's not humble about a lot in the beginning.
not even technically. Like let's honestly be.
She is a prodigy.
Yeah, she's a prodigy, and she may even be more of a prodigy than Aang was,
Yeah,
because when
yeah,
you think about it, there's an argument to be made that, as just based off of bending, that where Aang was at the end of the Last Airbender, Korra kind of is almost there at the beginning of Legend of Korra,
correct. Yeah,
because of how well she can bend earth, fire, and water.
she's super duper talented, and which is like opposite of Aang. Well, I mean, he was a prodigy too, but he had to go through and learn those elements. He wasn't comfortable with a lot of them, and he had to be taught, to where Korra is a prodigy. So I think that's a really cool thing that they did. Again, Lin, Tenzin. Uh, I don't know if I want to spoil that, so I won't. Lin, Tenzin, Bolin, even Asami and Mako in the first season they're good characters. They're satisfying characters. Not oh my god, Among.
Yeah,
Um,
Among.
the politics of Republic City. All of this is really interesting because it is a really natural progression of the Avatar world. Um, Not going to spoil that either.
Yeah, there's a lot that we don't want to fully dive into. We like I feel bad that we even mentioned the Dark Avatar and Ratu, but I mean we already did. And
One, if you don't, one, you probably don't know who they are. But that's, I mean, CJ, that sounds really cool
it
to hear that
does,
you're the Dark Avatar.
it does,
But yeah, but that means we got to get into that whole
Ye-
religious thing.
which we'll get into in season 2. But yeah, let's go
Man.
let's go back to
Which I don't mind it that much, but what?
it was.
Okay, 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 okay. I'm
You
back.
all right? You good?
I just remembered season 2. So yeah, definitely. There's a lot of good here. Like I said, choreography, visuals, characters.
Even the comedy is pretty great in this season. In
Comedy
this
is
show.
great. Um, I mean, it is the sequel to Avatar. It does live up to it to a degree, and it does things differently. And obviously, nothing is ever going to replace the original for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, my favorite movie is The Lost World, which a lot of people don't think is as good as Jurassic Park. I think is better, but I get it. Jurassic Park is Jurassic Park. You
Yeah.
know, at the end of the day.
And
So
the last Airbender is the last Airbender, and that's the thing is that one other thing we said this in the last one. Avatar between season 2 and season 3 had almost perfect arcs, and it had what many call a perfect season finale. I don't know. When we discussed it, I think our only gripe might have been the ships at the end, and that's literally it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's a very
Oh,
small gripe. That I mean, it's obviously is like a war. It can cause a war amongst the fandom, but beyond that, it's not really that severe as far as whether or not the ending is good.
yeah, we all know Zuko should have ended up with Katara, but
I have friends that disagree, and I actually can understand their arguments, but we're not going to get into that.
can we should do a podcast on ships.
Oh yeah, that'd be well. We'll have to bring in the expert on that one.
We're gonna bring in a couple people, I think, for that one.
Yeah,
That'd be
that would be.
funny.
Oh my god, that would be. We wouldn't even really be able to lead it because it's not like we discuss ships that often.
Well, we're aware of them.
Yeah,
We're
true,
aware of them.
true. But we'd have to probably. I feel like we'd have to sidestep that a little bit to let the true.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm down. I think
Okay.
that'd be funny. For those who don't, again, if you don't know what ships are relationships. So you can ship two characters in a story, and like it's a metaphorical ship, and it's also a relationship. So, for example, Aang and Katara,
Yeah.
not my ship, but I get it to an extent. I'm not going to talk about this much, but they had more of a brother sister vibe. They had moments throughout the series where it was like, emotional, but they had brother sister vibes.
Except for
That's
the
all.
fact that in season 1 they also had that episode of the fortune teller where she straight up says you're going to marry a powerful bender, and they straight up show Aang stopping a volcano from destroying a town, and Katara realizes that Aang is a powerful bender. So
Yeah, so is Zuko.
but he's not as powerful as Aang. But then again,
That's not what
Zuko.
the fortune teller said.
Then again, Zuko also took lightning for Katara, and people always will stand by like, how does that not trump anything? But anyway, the canon relationships that even lead to the characters we love so much in Korra is Aang and Katara get together. And that's something we can bring up is that Katara is still around. Now she does not have. I would say her role is significantly decreased in
She's a
Korra.
grandmother. She's just a grandmother.
But she's also still the strongest waterbender. Well, maybe not in the world currently, but like, wouldn't it have made sense for her to still be as just
No,
because you're old, you should still be as powerful as you can
You know
be.
what? No comment. No comment, because that is one of the things that I did not want to spoil. Not Katara, but something else along those lines.
Okay.
So
Okay. Fair enough.
no comment.
All right. We'll hold off. But that's just something for people to think about as they watch the show.
Yeah, but just kind of in closing for me, I love this show. I love this show. I feel like it is a worthy sequel to Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's just not as what's the word? It's just not as polished, and that is made evident by how quickly it was kind of put together, and how it kind of, like I said, for me, it feels like Korra, the ending wasn't like the real ending.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
And by the way they've made books for Korra explaining, well, at least one, and they have another one coming out because it's currently going. Like, there was more to be told there, because I do believe that they wanted to finish Korra's arc. So I look forward to reading that and seeing what they do with Korra.
Yeah, I agree too. I'm really looking forward to going back and watching Korra, because I realized that I actually hadn't rewatched Korra in 5 years. It's been a minute. You've always had the Blu-rays, so at least you've been able to do it, but I don't own them, and I'm looking forward to being able to start this journey back up. I'm looking forward to getting back into the characters, looking back at the character arc, seeing what I missed, and honestly looking at it with fresh eyes.
You're a different person.
I'm a different person than I was in 2012.
Yeah,
like
much different.
So it's going to be very interesting to see how I view things versus how I viewed things back then. But yeah, we're really looking forward to this journey, guys. I hope you'll take it with us. But I think most people are going to look forward to this, because if there's anything this summer has shown, it's that Avatar is still one of the most popular properties on the planet.
Please, Kyoshi, please, hello.
They aren't going to animate anything until this live action series is done.
Yeah, okay, but then Kyoshi, please, hello.
We won't get
please.
There's a reason.
Two best-selling books. I don't know. They might be on to something.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. That's entirely fair.
This is it. You got time to lab it. It's being labbed. Oh man, this Kyoshi stuff is pretty legit. They just introduced a waterbender that is suspected, like, that has the ability to extend people's lives.
There's also we've also learned that earthbenders may actually be able to bend glass.
Yeah, maybe that's how Kyoshi lived so long. I don't know, but I definitely look forward to finding out. Anyways, last little thing here. As far as pops on the rise, the 6-inch flocked ATLA is currently estimated to have a value of $55.
Do you own that?
I do.
Hey, congratulations. There's also a new Korra dropping that I think this is new. It's one with her controlling both fire and water at the same time.
It is new.
Yeah, so that one looks pretty great. The merchandise for the Avatar world is pretty phenomenal. Can't lie.
Yeah, they did a really good job.
But I think that's all we got for you guys today, folks. We know that we didn't go into too much detail on things.
It's just a brief overview.
We will be getting into it once everything starts. So 2 weeks from now, we will drop our Korra episode on season 1.
Just know that it's coming soon.
It's coming soon.
He making promises, folks.
True. Coming soon. With it, like, before you know it, it'll be here. Korra season 1 will be up and talked about. But in the meantime, we also do plan on talking about a couple of things, including a show that I recently finished up season 2 on, The Umbrella Academy. Because, my goodness, did I enjoy that season.
Good.
I'm looking forward to talking about that with you as well. I hope that you enjoy it, Shelby, because I think you will. Thank you, sir. But I think that's going to do it for us, guys. So if you would like, please share, subscribe, all that good stuff. We are on Spotify. We are on Podbean and Apple Podcasts. And
and feel free to leave comments down below, as always, if anything you'd like us to discuss or get our opinions on and our perspective.
But for now, that's going to do it. I'm CJ.
I'm Shelby.
And this is Advanced Perspective, signing out.
We'll catch you next time.